we're going to start with a song called Slower I Go. And I believe it's an acronym, SEU worship, or maybe it's SEU worship. But hey, it starts off with a pretty cool little pretty piano line, right? I'm not going to say it's like a Disney thing, but it's just, it's intentional to be something that's creative. The biggest thing that jumps out at me, though, if you notice the good old progression, we have D, B minor, G, and then D over F sharp. And then obviously when it goes into the verse, it takes out the F sharp and just makes it a D. But they do this, the piano at least, emphasizes this cool chord. And it reminds me a lot of the, it's like Foo Fighters, right? So it's D. And then normally we would just play B minor, right? But instead, they do Now, I didn't chart that in the chart, but if you hear it and you know how to do it, cool. So it's in Foo Fighters' Hero. It's also in I'm not in the way of the one who saved my soul. Well, I'm not ashamed of the one who saved my soul, my soul. So anyways, kind of a cool little factoid there. Cool thing about the D over F sharp, if you notice, they do add it in the pre-chorus on the second line for that D sharp, D over F sharp. And then I think that's other than the post-chorus at the end, which we'll get to. But yeah, just something to remember. So every other time you're thinking D, B minor, G, D. But yeah, obviously when we get to second line of the pre-chorus and the post-chorus at the end, let me check my notes. A lot of sections. Yeah, a lot of the songs today have a lot of sections, which is ironic. But so we've got intro, verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus 1, post-chorus with this cool little line. Da, 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 da. Little walk down, right? And yeah, if you don't know how to play A over C sharp, you can just play an A chord. Nothing crazy there. It'll sound kind of redundant because you're then playing it after the B minor and before the G, but oh well. Yeah, and then after we go back to the intro with a little piano line, it goes to a verse 2. Verse 2 is exactly the same chords as verse 1, which is always a plus in my book. Back to chorus 1, no pre-chorus, but we still do the post-chorus. And then I think the note I put here was, let's see, simple bridge but good build. Yeah, so sometimes it's nice to have bridges that just are super repetitive. That way it's almost like it's up to you and what your team wants to do or can do. But inevitably the goal is, if it's the same 4 chords, which this one is, just like the verses and even the pre-choruses, and the chorus, shoot. But yeah, just being intentional and having a purpose to what you're singing. And, this song isn't really up there with, He Loves Us or Amen. We're going to do that one later. So the blessing. But it still has weight to it. We're not in a hurry, whether it be waiting on God, learning patience, and even in our worship, we're not in a hurry. We're there to just be there and worship. But yeah, then the instrumental is just D, E minor, G. Back to a chorus 2 now. Now that was what's funny. Okay, so then there's almost like, it's not like a song change necessarily, but it does kind of morph into a more guitar-driven thing. I'm trying to remember actually how they played it, but it was, something like that. And just keep playing that over and over and over again. But what's ironic is that it's using the same concept of the chorus, but now we're reverting it from I want to have slow feet, slow plans to we want to have slow feet, slow plans, steadfast in patience, rid us of our quickness, will be soon to listen. So just that little tweak, right? And then you'll notice too, in the chorus 3, we have first half is the same chords, but then we switch to the B minor, to the A, to the G. So we still land on the G at the end, but they're kind of like substituting the D and the E minor with the B minor and the A. And you also notice I put in parentheses, will be a people of, because that's like a line they say when they repeat it. So, but we do chorus 3 again. And then, yeah, that post-chorus, instead of the walk down, da, 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 it's just da, do, da, and it ends. D, 1/3, 4. Da, da. But yeah, overall, pretty chill song. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, it just feels like there's a lot of sections. When you add post-choruses into stuff, it just ends up adding up and making it look more complicated than it is. I almost feel like, yeah, just add it to the chorus. But if you do the post-chorus by itself, like at the end of the song, then it kind of makes sense. So anyways,